Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Ollie Davis, and remember, I'll be replying to people in the comments section for the first 15 minutes after each news episode goes live. So turn on notifications for WrestleTalk on your YouTube app to get these videos first. Notifications Squad. They make sure you ain't left out. I'm working on a catchphrase. This one's a long one, people. There's a lot of conflicting reports and broken backstage promises. So get comfy. This is the story of how the Hardy Boys left TNA. This week was make or delete for the Hardys and TNA Impact Wrestling. Both Matt and Jeff Hardy's contracts were up by the end of February, and TNA is scheduled for their next batch of TV tapings from Thursday the 2nd of March through to Sunday. The Broken One said as much himself, tweeting yesterday, "It shall be an intriguing week for the professional wrestling industry," with the usual caption of him looking completely bonkers. Contract negotiations between the Hardys and TNA have been going on for months, with Pro Wrestling Sheet reporting the two sides actually agreed to terms on a new one-year deal back in December, bar a few minor changes. The Hardys have been waiting for the finalized offer ever since. But this was around the time Impact Wrestling was undergoing a huge regime change backstage. Previous owner Dixie Carter was bought out by Anthem Sports and Entertainment, who hired TNA's original founder, Jeff Jarrett, as the promotion's executive producer. All of a sudden, Impact's head of creative, John Gaburik, the person along with former TNA president Billy Corgan, who'd given the Hardys free rein on their creative direction, was replaced by Jeff Jarrett guys Scott D'Amore and Dutch Mantell, the latter of whom was just named the new head of creative. Matt and Jeff apparently kept checking in about their contract over the following weeks, but were consistently given the runaround. According to PW Insider's TNA sources, though, the company tried to contact Jeff for weeks, but did not have their communication returned. Then when the Hardys' lawyer told Impact Wrestling they now want a creative control clause in their new deals and that other companies were interested in them, Impact Wrestling's new president, Ed Nordholm, responded, "Well, tell them to go to WWE then." Jeff Hardy felt disrespected by TNA officials at this point and said he was no longer interested in re-signing. Matt continued to negotiate, but when they sent him a new contract, it was now for 2 years and had a term snuck in where Impact would get 10% of all his profits outside TNA. A contract stipulation the company is reportedly making the norm. Although it was a big money offer that would have seen the Hardys be one of the top paid, if not the top paid act in the company, the Broken Matt character makes a considerable amount of money from indie bookings and merchandise. To give up 10% of that, in his lawyer's opinion, would make him a fool to sign. Both TNA and the Hardys reportedly wanted to work out a deal. TNA wanted to keep their top act, and the Hardys wanted to stay in the promotion. But for whatever reason, the two sides couldn't come to an agreement. Always one to have a clear and measured head, Matt's wife, Rebby Sky, took to Twitter to shed light on those difficulties. Why try to do things the right way when you get bull and drama in return? Matt is a nice guy. I'll keep the she means tag team title belts, hostage out of here. Now think what kind of negative changes and straight Curry would have to go down for us to leave. She then threatened to melt down Impact's Tag Team Championship belts and turn them into gold-hooped earrings. Matt himself then finally posted, "My stint with Impact Wrestling was delightful, exceptional talent and locker room. A great, respectful team that worked hard in tough times. I wish Impact Wrestling all the best going forward, especially the industrious talent. I hope they're all treated with respect and fairness." Even when Broken Matt leaves a company, he's still in character. Although he should have said, "I wish Impact Wrestling well in all their endeavors of the future." This comes just the day after Drew Galloway announced his TNA departure, reportedly for similar reasons of his contract being rushed through. There's several problems though. Most imminently, the Hardys are still Impact Wrestling's tag team champions. Matt has offered to come to the TNA tapings this week to write his character off of TV, but Impact officials told him he was crazy to think they'd want him on TV without a contract. Impact officials are currently trying to get the physical tag team title belts back, and there's another ownership issue at stake. Who actually has the rights to the Broken Hardy character. Pro Wrestling Sheet are reporting that there's confusion over whether Matt or TNA own the gimmick. Matt's side argue the contract gives him ownership over any names and characters he used in TNA. TNA, however, claim it gives them ownership over all intellectual property creations. Weirdly, no one's arguing like this over Jeff Hardy's Willow character. One part of the old contract both sides do seem to agree on, however, is that the Hardys don't have a no-compete clause. That means they could show up for another promotion as soon as Wednesday. They're already booked in to wrestle the Young Bucks at the April 1st Supercard of Honor show for Ring of Honor, which can presumably now be actually broadcast, so that could be one option. That provides a New Japan connection too, but I doubt their realistic product would accept the Broken Universe. That Ring of Honor show is in Lakeland, Florida. The day after, just an hour drive away, is WrestleMania 33. And the New Day don't currently have opponents. Speculation over a Hardy Boys WWE return ramped up when Rebby Sky announced they're shutting down their online store. This could be because the family run it themselves and Rebby doesn't have enough time anymore, now being pregnant with their second child, or it could be because WWE want all their contracted talent's merchandise to go through them. Dave Meltzer has been reporting on WWE's interest in bringing the Hardys back for months, and Matt told Inside the Ropes in November that he'd be open to rejoining the company. While the money-making potential for Matt and Jeff is huge there, they most likely wouldn't have the level of creative control they want, and they'd have to work a heavier schedule. And maybe WWE wouldn't want the Broken gimmick at all, wanting the Hardys to go back to their Team Extreme gimmick from their first run with the company. Just look at Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. Bubba reinvented himself in TNA as Bully Ray and could have been a top heel in WWE, but creative botched their return by putting them in an act from over a decade ago. Sometimes if WWE didn't create it themselves, they'll actively bury it. As for TNA, while a huge loss, this might not be that bad in the long run. Impact are in a state of rebuilding, and as unique as the Broken Hardys gimmick is, the self-reflexive tone often jars with the rest of the show. This way, TNA can focus on straight-up wrestling storylines, and it frees up a lot of money that can be spent on new talent. What NXT stars are possibly getting called up to the main roster, and which former TNA star is actually teasing their return? Click the videos to the left to find out and press subscribe. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.